she thinks that she's going to get famous by association, and she's not. And Jennifer Aniston she's not going to be playing with her in any way.
Breaking right now, Jennifer Aniston has joined Gwyneth Paltrow in snubbing Meghan Markle in a brutal blow to the fake Duchess's ambition to create a new Hollywood posse in Montecito to replace Oprah Winfrey, who no longer wants much to do with her, and Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi, who have fled to the UK. Fascinating reporting from Radar Online. I'm going to get analysis from According to Taz on this in just one moment, but first, let me take you through the story. Radar Online reports Meghan Markle is eyeing up her biggest prize to date in her ambitious bid to create a glitzy Avengers-style gang of heavyweight Hollywood A-listers. Jennifer Aniston. The Friends icon is just about to move into her new home just yards from Markle's front door in Montecito, and the Duchess is desperate, I'm sure she is, to bag her as a major gal pal. But because Aniston has, quote, no interest in having the Duchess hitch her desperation-driven wagon to her fame, the pair are set for some very awkward run-ins. An insider told Radar Online, Meghan is absolutely thrilled about this. After leaving royal life behind, she saw Jen's purchase as a cosmic nudge toward a blossoming bond. She really wants Jen as her new BFF, and she is renowned for love-bombing potential new showbiz pals. But it's all really cringy, and Jen has zero interest in being tied to Meghan. Her star power goes way beyond hers, and she just sees her as sad and needy. She'll have zero interest in her little gifts or pathetic attempts to have dinner or call around for lunch. So they're going to have some very awkward moments out and about when they bump into each other, when she starts turning down Meghan's invites, not returning her calls, or answering her door to her. Then another insider added, this is more about Meghan's perspective. Quite awkward this, because they say Meghan adores Jen's iconic roles in Friends and her romantic comedies, while also admiring her as a fierce advocate for important causes. Meghan, there's no one else she'd rather chit-chat with to put the world to rights. But here's the twist. Despite her persistent request for an introduction through mutual acquaintances, Jen has always seemed too busy with that 90-minute commute from Bel Air to Montecito. Now that Jen's soon to be all settled in, there's hope she might finally take that leap and hang out with Meghan. However, the pressure's on Meghan trying to enhance her star power in Hollywood. And if Jen turns this chance down, it might just crush Meghan's spirit. Now, members of SoCal's elite include Billie Eilish, Adam Levine, Katy Perry, Bahati Banus, Tracy James, Brian Robbins, and Oprah Winfrey, and Markle has tried to woo them all, including other big names such as Kerry Washington and Jessica Alba. A source said Meghan's trying to create a new entourage that she thinks will stir the pot in Hollywood. She's trying to find a way to use their power to get herself a VIP pass into Tinseltown to pitch content, but it looks like no one is paying attention. Oh, Tash, I'm cringing for her.
She is exactly the same as she was before she met Harry. The only thing that she's got slightly differently is she's got the title now, and it has opened a few more doors for her, but she's still finding a lot of doors slammed in her face. Kerry Washington's a perfect example, actually. There's a photograph of Meghan meeting Kerry Washington when she was an unknown, maybe the first couple of seasons of Suits. And Kerry obviously just posed for a picture, not really knowing who this person was, you know. And then many years later, we saw at the Beyonce concert, Kerry Washington is with Kelly Rowland and Meghan, and they're saying, oh, Meghan was so wonderful, she's so lovely. And recently, Meghan then went to, she was photographed naturally in the corner of Kerry Washington's birthday. So Meghan is trying to get herself in with people. I do believe that she's always done things like that. When Meghan went to the sushi restaurant, do you remember that, Dan? When she went to the sushi restaurant and Cameron Diaz was minding her own business outside with her husband Benji, and apparently Gwyneth Paltrow was in there. And then the next minute, there were all these stories coming out that Meghan's now best friends with Gwyneth Paltrow and Cameron Diaz, and they're all hanging out. And the same thing happened when they went to the Katy Perry concert. The paparazzi magically knew exactly what flight, what bit of tarmac at LAX Airport their private jet would be waiting. And you had privacy privacy-loving celebrities like Zoe Saldana, again, Cameron Diaz, I think, was there. And you had all of these people that basically have got around all of the Hollywood set when they're not on films. They have a private life, and then the paparazzi were waiting for them. What was the new thing that would have caused that? Meghan being there. She thinks that she's going to get famous by association, and she's not. And Jennifer Aniston she's not going to be playing with her in any way, because Jennifer Aniston's best friend is Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman's sister, Justine Bateman, she's the one that has laid into Harry and Meghan for being disaster tourists, and they could win the Olympics at victimhood. These are all people that hang around in the same group. So Jennifer Aniston is definitely going to be, I guess, returned to sender when she gets a nice little fake calligraphy written note.
Oh, beautifully put. And the thing is, Justine Bateman, I mean, her Substack this week was brutal. The Victim Olympics 2020 to 2024, and she used Meghan's, what do you call it? The crown, on, there it is.
She's not playing.
She's not playing. And you know what? I just say, you go, girl. I love it. And then we get the shade, but it's shade that is very much shrouded in nice talk from Gwyneth Paltrow in Vanity Fair. But the really telling thing here is that clearly she just doesn't want to be associated with Meghan at all. She doesn't want the feature to be all about Meghan. She knows that if she says anything about Meghan, then it's going to be really awkward, because Meghan has, as you just pointed out, briefed that they're really good friends. So the way that Gwyneth Paltrow decides to do this initially is she just tells Vanity Fair, I don't know Harry and Meghan at all. The journalist is obviously like, what the hell? And then Gwyneth, and it's really awkward, has to clarify saying, I mean, I've met Meghan, who seems really lovely, but I don't know her at all. And then the ultimate kicker is she says, maybe I'll try to get through their security detail and bring them a pie. Oh, I was just like, this is so bad, but so good at the same time.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It was the classiest, bitchiest thing that I've read in some time. I actually really like Gwyneth Paltrow, and I love the way she came across in this interview, but there is definitely some acid tongue backlash. And she just, what was it she said? She is happy for anybody to attempt at anything that they want to in life. Meaning about Meghan trying to become competition for Goop. And I can't remember the exact wording, but it was the fact that she was like, oh, well, she's, anybody can attempt to do whatever they like in this world. And you can just almost hear the kind of the nails a little bit. I thought, it's actually a really good article. It did make me laugh.
Yeah, I think she actually dealt with it in the perfect way, because then she also started talking about how females need to support other females, and that's why she would often appear on other people's podcasts, but obviously, tellingly, not Meghan's. And I highly doubt she will.
Did you notice that she actually said she seems nice, not I've met her and she is nice? Very telling. Very, very telling.
Those words were super telling. But Tash, you know what it's like if we have any of these conversations, and because you and me happen to have white skin, even though Meghan is half white, has a white father, grew up as Caucasian, put on her CV, her acting CV, that she was Caucasian so that she could get Caucasian parts, admitted that she had never suffered any racism in her entire life until she joined the royal family. Despite all of that, Tash, if we as white people criticize anything that Meghan does, or point out the fact that she's a hypocrite, point out the fact that she's a bully, point out just truths about what's going on in her life. Because remember, in my personal case, Tash, all of my reporting about Meghan Markle when she entered the royal family was incredibly positive. It was only once I learned that the late Queen Elizabeth II was so disgusted by her behaviour that she had actually phoned Harry and said, Meghan has to stop acting like this, that I believed that there was a clear public interest in reporting that story, then reporting the fact that she'd also fallen out with Catherine. Again, it was over the way that Meghan was talking to staff at Kensington Palace. Like, none of that None of that was even slightly anchored in race. But the problem is these
No.
people on the hard left, right, will just
Yeah.
never, ever stop. And I know this will be
No.
painful for some of you, but I want to show you how deranged they are and then allow Tash to respond. Because, Tash, let's just be honest about it. In this interview with Miss Anne Harriman, who is a photographer, social activist, and Oscar-nominated filmmaker, with Channel 4's race beta-in-chief in the UK, a guy called Krishnan Guru Murthy, who is a complete hard left propagandist. In that interview, they are making direct and disgusting claims about people like you and me, Tash, saying that we should forget our journalism, forget our commentary, because if we dare say anything, clearly there has to be a race-based motivation. They are the racists. I'd also remind everyone that Meghan Markle has never, ever distanced herself from the Sussex Squad trolls, who are not only the biggest gang of internet dastardly folk in history, but also total racists, anti-white racists, all the time, to Catherine and Camilla and the late Queen and people like me and you. So that's the setup. But Tash, I want you to sit through these disgusting words from Miss Anne Harriman so that you can respond afterwards.
The industrial and very focused hate machine that I've seen, I've experienced myself due to my proximity to both Harry and Meghan, has been extraordinary. And what I would say is that, you know, one day, you know, her children will be adults and it'll be impossible to protect them, right? From
her behavior.
The ledger, and it is a ledger of hate.
No, it's not.
That mainly the British media has been responsible for. And what I mean by that is, last time I checked, Meghan is not dropping bombs on people. She's not annexing nations. She's not a pedophile. Yet there is way more coverage and time and words spent directing hatred towards her than people that are really, really hurting people. And I do wonder how history is going to remember those that held the pen and the microphone and kissed their kids goodnight at night and paid their mortgages off the back of focusing hatred to one woman that most of them have never met. I do wonder how history will remember those that knowingly did that for the sake of the combination of misogyny, misogynoir, greed, being part of a system that they were just like, well, I was doing what my editor told me and not caring. I do wonder how history will remember.
I mean, when you say you've experienced it, what do you mean?
Because I've had people send me DMs saying, you know, unspeakable things that they would want to do.
Yeah, like the Sussex Squad do every single day.
Children, her husband, myself, unspeakable things. And you have to ask yourself, how did we get here? If you don't like her, that's fine. If you don't like the things she puts out,
The TV show.
write an article saying you don't like it. But 24 hours focused hatred on this one woman, this mother, this human being, this soul, it's unforgivable.
I've got so much to say, but Tash, over to you first. But first, this episode of Outspoken is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. Every man knows the unbeatable feeling of a fresh barbershop shave. Now, what if I told you that you no longer have to wait weeks or even months between appointments to experience it? Introducing Manscaped's newest innovation, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver, the game-changing tool that brings the luxury of a professional shave right into your home. Whether you're after that daily silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver is your go-to for precision and style every time. After so many shaving mishaps in my past, let's not even go there. Let me tell you that Manscaped has improved my grooming routine no end, actually my confidence with it too. What makes the Chairman Pro stand out, though, is its versatility and precision. It comes with 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. So there's the 4-blade foil. That gives you a close shave if you're looking to go completely clean. Or if, like me, you like a bit of stubble, but you want it to look sharp and polished, you switch to the skin-safe stubble trimmer. Don't worry though, both are designed with skin-safe technology to help reduce razor burn and irritation so your skin feels smooth and comfortable after every shave, reducing redness or discomfort. Now, a standout feature that truly differentiates the Chairman Pro from the rest is the Flex Adjust technology. It innovates to ensure a superior shave by allowing both blades and the pivoting head to seamlessly adapt to the unique contours of your face. Is gentle on the neck area too, let me tell you. And if you want even more precision on the right side of the bracket, there's a precision lock. When you lock it, the blade head sits firm so you can achieve a more precise shave. It's also waterproof, which means that you can clean up with a quick rinse under the sink. Get the Chairman Pro today. Experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Head on over to manscaped.com and join the over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, including me. And check this out. If you use the code OUTSPOKEN, you will get free shipping anywhere in the world and 20% off. That's manscaped.com using the code OUTSPOKEN for free shipping and a whopping 20% on your entire order. But now, back to the show.
The race baiting, it makes my blood boil because I'm so over this because Right, so where to start? Let me collect my thoughts for a second. So firstly, the majority of people that are talking about Meghan since With Love Meghan came out or since she launched Instagram, they are laughing at her. They are laughing at her the same as they did with the South Park episode, with the Family Guy episode, with them being called lazy effing grifters, with every attempt that they have done to create something worthwhile, their educational programming that was going to teach the masses, bring communities together. And it's just been a load of waffle. It really has been a mass combination of everything that they touch. They've got the reverse Midas touch. And people call them out for their hypocrisy. They call them out for their lies. That's not hating on someone. Don't be a hypocrite. Stop telling lies. Stop complaining that people are invading your privacy while you do a book and a TV series selling your family's intimate and private details down the river for 30 pieces of silver. If you don't like people commenting on your Instagram post because you put an Instagram post out there every day, don't put an Instagram post out there every day. But the thing is, they have weaponized this racism card, and it's very frustrating because, like you said, because I'm white, people will automatically say that I'm racist purely because of my skin color. Now, you tell me who is the racist in that scenario. Meghan has been pulled apart because of her behavior. And when I say pulled apart, I mean that she has been criticized, she has been questioned, she's lied to courts, she did some awful things to the Queen and to Prince Philip, as did Harry. And they use it as a shield that they can get away with absolutely everything, like Harry is now obviously using his visa status. And nobody is above criticism. Nobody. It's like me putting myself out there, doing the YouTube videos and then crying every day because I get trolled. I do get trolled all the time. I've had prank calls. People have tried to do the American equivalent of swatting my home. I've had the police called to my home by so-called Harry and Meghan fans. It's absolutely horrific, the abuse that you get, but you just ignore it. You just ignore these people. Meghan is not being targeted because of her colour. She is being targeted because of her behaviour. And she's not being targeted when people are just laughing at her. So that's my rant, really. If people are just laughing at her, and it needs to not be something that people can say she's a victim because of that. Meghan makes herself a victim by doing what she does.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I absolutely couldn't agree more.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's incredibly frustrating because I think what that man and what Christian Guru Murphy have to reveal is that Meghan actually tried to destroy the British royal family with absolutely provable lies about racism. Now, she is allowed to do that, but to suggest that any pushback that she gets about those despicable lies. Lies, by the way, about the most beloved woman in the world. I'm talking about the late Queen Elizabeth II. I'm sorry. You're the one who is going to go down in history for all of the wrong reasons, Ms. Markle. You are the one who will end up having a worse reputation than Wallis Simpson and the Duke of Windsor, who, let's just remember, were Nazi sympathizers. And I think to try and say that journalists like me, commentators like you, who have shone a light on the truth, which has now even been picked up by the left-wing liberal media in America, it's shameful. It is utterly, utterly shameful. But the problem is, history will be the judge. And I do not believe it will be the journalists who expose the truth that go down badly. I believe it will be Meghan's claims. Because this woman, by the end of her time, I think will be viewed as a destructive force. Only time will tell. History can be the judge. But that's how I feel about it. Tash, there was one other thing that really annoyed me this week. Really annoyed me. And I wanted to show it to you to get your response.
Rant away, Dan. Let's get it all out.
Sorry about this. But it was Harry on stage refusing, Tash, to bring himself to say that he missed anything about the UK. Like his dad, his brother, the royal family, pubs, friends, the British public, nothing, Tash. He just could not bring himself to say it. Watch this.
What do I miss the most? Being British, maybe I'm not going to say the weather. But I don't know. I think, look, there's lots of little bits and pieces that I miss. I guess the countryside is a big piece to that. And one of the reasons why we live in Santa Barbara, I'm not really a city person. I like to be out in space with a big sky above me. But no, you know what? Life takes extraordinary turns, and we are, as a family, we're so happy here. The US provides so much opportunity and also a safe space for us, which has been great.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Tash, over to you.
He's never going to admit it. He is never, ever going to admit that he misses his family, that he misses his friends, that he misses his old life, that he misses his popularity. He is never going to admit that I really did make a huge mistake when I went on Oprah, when my grandfather, who loved me and was there for me, when my mother had died. And I decided in his final few weeks to try and destroy everything he'd spent his life working alongside with my grandmother. Harry is never going to admit that he has made a terrible choice in destroying his relationships with everyone and everything that he ever knew. That moment where you can see him struggle, it's almost like there was a bit of him that wanted to say perhaps he missed his family. I mean, but there's going to be a part of him. He's never going to do it, whether it's his ego or he just doesn't want anybody to say, we told you so. Everybody could see it. I'm sure that he possibly now sees it. And that's why he's so bitter and he's so angry, because he knows from the depths of his soul that everybody was right. And he's never going to get those years back with his grandmother, with his grandfather, and even with his father, knowing that the king is in ill health and he still couldn't bring himself to say anything about, oh, I miss spending time with my father, my family, nothing. Harry it's a sword that he's going to die on, really, isn't it? It's just unbelievable that he couldn't even bring himself to say anything. He will never admit that he has made the biggest mistake of his life.
No, but it's very sad. I mean, the thing is, he has way too much pride, number one, and obviously we know pride comes before a fall. But I also believe, Tash, that he was worried about Meghan's reaction. I think he is still scared of her. And he knew that she would be furious if he were to say anything positive about the country, which he loves, and about the country which for 2 decades loved and supported him through thick and thin.
It is It is really sad because, as I said, it's when I go back and I'm doing a YouTube video where I'm looking back at the old Harry, shall we call him? And it wasn't that long ago. And we're talking 2015 Harry, even 2016 Harry. You still see a little bit of that Harry in 2017. But from the prince that he was to the man that he's become, the wording that he used in his book Spare, it's not anything to be proud of, really. And there are times when I think I feel sorry for him. It's very fleeting because then I'm reminded, obviously, of the hurt that he caused his grandparents and his family. And it's him, he's the one that betrayed his family more. But it's just the whole thing's still kind of shocking. Like I said earlier, the thing with the frog, it's so crazy to think of Harry, how he was, how much he was liked. He was one of the most popular royals. I think at one point he was polled as being the most popular royal next to the Queen.
Yeah, at one point, Tash, he even, and I mean, I always found this extraordinary at the time because I've always known about Harry's flaws and his nastiness.
Yeah.
But he was more popular than the late Queen Elizabeth II with the British public. Briefly.
And now Prince Andrew's more popular than him. Let's be honest, he didn't try and destroy the monarchy and his family, did he? There are some people that actually view Prince Andrew with more of a positive light than they do Harry.
Well,
now,
I do,
something.
which is a whole separate conversation, which we'll save for another day. And I know there'll be a whole load of backlash about that, but I do. And I can back it up and I can justify it. And I think increasingly that will be a view that the public come to when they maybe are not so reliant on some of the MSM lies that have been told over the Prince Andrew situation. But that is a story for another day. According to Taz, must follow, must watch YouTube channel with incredible analysis on a bi-weekly basis or sometimes more. And love having you part of Outspoken, Tash.
Oh, thanks, Dan. It's great to be back. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. You enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.